And I agree with what you say about Dubai. I always tell people what I say is if you look around Dubai at the next 50 people you see, everybody is here intentionally. They moved here because they want to be here, and they're all doing something proactively to make their future better. Now, you could argue that the building worker doesn't have the conditions he should have, or the cabbie this, okay, but they chose to be here because it's better here than in Sri Lanka, or it's better here than in Pakistan, and everybody here is building their dreams, and if you talk about, are you gonna come back next year, they wanna be here next year. Now, take a look in London, and go look at the 50 people you see immediately. Most of those people are phoning it in. They don't wanna be there, they're getting a check to be there, they're dragging their feet to be there, and it's just that vibe. It just starts to drag at you. And that's why I love being here, because everybody is just on it. And again, if you want to hustle and do business, great. If you want to go on the beach, great. And I just think the energy is infectious. I think the vision of the leaders here is incredible. I mean, the audacity to do what they've done, and that's infectious. It pushes you to think even bigger. And the safety, the inclusiveness, just everything is on point for me. You know?
Yeah, 100%.
And I also, there's no politics, and it's just a beautiful thing. Like when I just got here, you know, the first week, even recently, it's just like I don't have to even hear about all the bickering and the they said this and the she said and they said. Not that I try to engage with that anymore, but I mean, I recently ran to be mayor of London, so I was still kind of watching it a little bit. It's just like there's no bickering here, which has become theater. But here it doesn't exist. You got people with a vision for 20, 30, 50, 100 years. Their family's connected to the vision. Their children will have that vision, and they're executing. And guess what? We don't need to bicker about it and talk about it, and we can actually just focus on doing our vision. It's something incredibly powerful about that.
Yeah, no, 100%. And it's, you know, between now and 2040, that massive opportunity, and that's a massive opportunity for us. You know, and it's, I find that the UK has a very odd stance on entrepreneurs and small business. And it's almost, to some degree, you look at it and think, are they doing it on purpose to push out the small business for the big corporations and everything else? That's certainly a question. But, you know, here, it's what, 5% oil now? You know, it's no longer the oil state where it gets its revenue. It gets its revenue from business. It gets its revenue from tourism. And what are they going to do when it comes to the entrepreneur? They're going to make sure that there's the benefits to make them grow, thrive, and really evolve and grow with the place. And that also, which really shocked me, is the health and well-being here. It is incredible. I wasn't expecting that. I thought, you come here, the health and wellness is not going to be like the UK. You could be doing something every single day. Health and wellness, fitness, well-being, mental health, everything is absolutely, it's being exploited,
right?
In a positive way.
Yeah. I mean, in London, I can't, go wakeboarding in the morning. I can't, take these long walks. I can't get the sun. I can't get any of this stuff. Here, it's just like de facto.
Yeah,
it just
in 20 minutes.
Yeah, it's got like so much going for it in that sense. What about Britain? What's the future of Britain?
Peter Thiel took $500,000 and turned it into $1 billion using the exact same techniques we're using inside the investment club. He met a CEO, his name was Zuckerberg. He pitched him the deal and he said, okay, I'll give you $500,000. Mark went public and sold the shares to people like you. Well, what happened to Peter? Well, he exited and got a 2,300x return. The wealthy invest in early stage companies, folks. The public markets are for suckers. It's a rigged game. By the way, this happens in crypto as well. It's called pre-sale tokens. This is Solana. Does anybody know this chain? They sold pre-sale tokens for 4 cents. And you can see the date on there, April 5th, 2018. Look at Solana today, folks. That thing's up over 1,000x. The media and Wall Street and all these hype people get you to buy the top. Meanwhile, they put their clients in at the bottom and they use you for liquidity to make their clients rich. You can play this same game. You just have to have the financial education and the deal flow. That's it.
It's interesting, by the way, the entrepreneurship thing. Coming from America, when I first got there and I would read the newspapers and I could start to there's a tone in the newspapers and the underlying culture that successful people and rich people are bad. They did something wrong. There's something suspicious. Oh, and his business made 100 million pounds last year. Oh, look at him. He must be doing something wrong. It's this tone that's in the papers, and it's just like, ultimately, it's a socialist state, not as much as Europe, but it is. And for some reason, it's just not encouraged. It's not good for them. Now, America recently had a little bit of that too, but it's America's default is to celebrate the winners and the entrepreneurs. But in Britain and in Europe even more, there is this tone, and I think it's maybe getting worse. You know?
Yeah, 100%.
That's what you're talking
it's
about.
down from the top, and that's trickling through to every individual, in the UK. And I think that I'm not sure what's going to go on with the UK. I find it a shame because I love the UK. It's a beautiful place, but the weather is just horrendous, and the people wear the weather on the face. And it's just. I feel that there's limited opportunity there. You are the net worth of the 5 people that you spend the most time with, as they say. So where do I want to be? I want to be here. And also the fact, at the end of the day, this system is a salt battery. We need sun. And in the absence of that, you do get mental health issues, lack of vitamin D and everything else. I tell you now, if everyone started taking vitamin D and K2 in the UK, the mental health issue would start to decline. But there's a lack of sun, a lack of optimism, a lack of desire to be wealthy, and it goes back to the one thing I said before about everyone's just happy with average, just get by.
Yeah, and I think it's going to get worse.
I think it's got to break before it. I think it's going to. Seems to me like it's got to get. Or you look at America. This is how I see it anyway. That had to really break and really fall apart before they could put it back together, and. It needed that to transform, and hopefully we're going to see that happen. I just wonder if the UK is a few years behind that.
Yeah, I'm not so optimistic. America did have some lows, but I also think it was pretty lucky that we've now had a turnaround, and hopefully it will come back with Britain and Europe. I don't know. I just see it slowly sliding, and it's a place that was brought up expecting, checks from the government and the National Health Services and these kinds of things, and I just don't know how they're going to turn that around. No. I don't see a leader like a Trump arriving in any of these places to be embraced. So, look, I love London. I will always love London. It gave me everything. I came to London to get off drugs and get sober, and I made a career, and I ran to be mayor of London, and I looked at all the services, and I thought about serving 9 million people, but everything there is just grinding to a halt. And, part of my job would have been the tube. And I mean, there's stations in the tube that haven't been cleaned since 1965. And the infrastructure is just grinding down. And like you said, all the wealthy people are leaving and they don't seem to care. And so I don't know what's going to happen there. And, you and I are voting with our feet. And I think maybe that's the kindest thing we can do. Maybe, like you said, the last bit of pain is the worst. We're literally saying this doesn't work for us anymore. Maybe that's going to be some kind of a lesson. Maybe, and maybe it will break. So
time will tell.
Yeah, time will tell, to say the least.
Hey, I know investing in crypto is scary. It takes a real leap of faith because there are so many scams, rug pulls, and bad actors out there. It's a dangerous business, which is why 95% of people lose all their money. Well, that's why I created the London Real Investment Club, so you can access the hottest deals on the planet and use the crypto bull market to create the generational wealth that you deserve. Join my team of over 100 people from around the world that are making millions of dollars behind the scenes investing in blockchain, AI, Web3 games, DeFi, Bitcoin, and more. Don't miss out. Click the link below to book a call with one of my team now. But hurry, this bull market will end soon.
I know investing crypto can be scary. That's why you gotta join the investment club. Pull the trigger. Let's do this.